As India starts its G20 presidency, the world's fastest growing economy endures geopolitical change, making it pertinent to analyze what lies ahead. Times Network, through its flagship platform, India Economic Conclave, continues the legacy of championing the economic agenda of the country. The 9th edition of the India Economic Conclave focused on India as the emerging third superpower. IDFC First Bank presents the India Economic Conclave, powered by Google. Harnessed conversations to transform India's economic aspirations into action through specially curated sessions of thinkers, policymakers, economists, business leaders and global influencers. The event not only got to witness the thought-provoking idea towards the development of the nation, but also experienced an immersive performance by 3-time Grammy Award winner Ricky Cage.
Reach out, let us join hands and sing this world song. Reach out, let us join hands and sing this world song.
In this episode, Dr. Sasangan Ramanathan, Dean Faculty of Engineering, Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham, and Senior News Editor, Times Network, Sumit Lakhotia, discuss the role of education as a key to India's sustained growth. And in the second half, Mukti Guru Shri Preethaji, co-creator of Ekam, enlightens us with the superpower of consciousness. The Indian education system, like me and Aisha were also talking about, it's undergoing a digital transformation, and a lot of credit is being given to digitalization. But going further, how can Indian educational institutions provide value-based education? Important phrase here, value-based education, while also providing, the impetus in developing both scientific knowledge as well as some spiritual understanding for students. Your thoughts?
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me here. This morning, Mike Pompeo and Anand talked about war in Ukraine, potential dispute in Taiwan. I think the best way to kill a country is to deprive the people of education. That's as simple as that. India was probably the best, the land of knowledge, when we had Nalanda and Takshashila. We lost them. Now we're reinventing, and I think the grassroots of anything is value. And I think all of you might agree, majority of you may agree that we have lost the values. And there is significant push from the government to incorporate values as part of education. I strongly and firmly believe that value-based education is extremely important because all of the third world, third largest GDP and becoming a superpower and all that, it will become a pipe dream. If you don't have sustainable, qualified, younger generation of people coming through. So it is very, very important.
That's very important. I think an important point that you said there is the qualified part, because they need to be qualified not just in the education, but in like a 360 degree. Dr. Ramanathan, there's a Sanskrit prayer, and it goes something like that. And I apologize to you and to the audience if my Sanskrit pronunciation is wrong. But Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. It means a reminder of our deeper connection to the entire world around us. So, apart from empowering students with skills, with qualifications, how important is inculcating the ethos and values of dharma, of karuna, of shraddha, so righteousness, compassion, mindfulness. How important is that to put in to the student of today?
Yeah. Well, when I grew up, just me, any one of you. As a baby, we looked up to our mother, then we looked up to our parents. They were there with us when we grew up, so the values, all of the things, the dharma, karuna, and shraddha, we learned by observing our parents. Now, I spent about 30 years in the US, and I know where India is going. We're behind US on all of this. It's a double income family. So mom and dad leave home, they leave the kid to a nanny. And today in India, that's happening to our older parents. They're taken care of by caretakers, not by the children, majority of them. So we start with the nanny, end with the nanny. And nannies don't teach you dharma, karuna, and shraddha. It comes from the parents. So all of these things, the importance of value and all of these starts at home. And If we don't start at home, we have a problem. We stutter. And I think what you said is not applicable just for the university. The reason I say that, if you have a sapling, which is just young and quite flexible, you can bend. Once it becomes a tree, the only thing you can do is cut it down. How much are you going to cut it down? So make sure that all of these values start from kindergarten, primary school, secondary school. So when they hit this, where I need to acquire skills, they're in a shape and form to absorb. And this, in the long term, will be the sustainable engine and horsepower for India to just not be the third best GDP, it can move to the first.
Fantastic. That is such an important point and so well put. Dr. Ramanathan, reportedly in a short span of about 18 years, your university has established over 180 collaborations with top 500 world-ranked universities. Could you tell us about how this has helped the university also in emerging as one of the fastest growing institutions of higher learning in India?
Yeah, I think if you were to go back and see how this university was formed, education for life and not for a living. So you're not just getting a degree to earn money, but you're going to learn how to lead your life. That was a foundational principle of the university. And then we added all of the values that you talked about into the curriculum. Plus, the most important thing anybody would say is the quality of faculty in that campus, in that university. You have so many temples, and I bet you most of you will go to a specific temple because word of mouth or some believe that there is a power. That power came in because somebody chanted something that brought in positive vibrations. So that is how this university was built. So this 18 plus years of constant, dedicated, committed faculty made this happen, along with our students and alumni. Now, who are the beneficiaries? I think the university is not the beneficiary, it is our students. All of them have secured excellent opportunities in India and abroad. And the most fascinating fact is, the university, whatever we do, we try and take it to society. And that is why even yesterday, I'm so proud that Amrita is ranked number 52 in the world in UN Sustainable Development Goals.
Wow.
We talk about sustainability, climate change, lots of papers. Who is adopting them? We do. And that's how we got to that ranking, right? So what now we have seen is universities from abroad are sending their students and faculty to learn how do you take technology to society? How do you benefit? We have more than 15 lakh people benefiting from all of our activities in about 108 villages.
Right. So, I think this is really important because, sir, what you said, people talk about SDGs, but it's great that the students can see it in action at the university before they head out into the corporate world. So we're hoping they carry on those learnings out there. What is your opinion on the National Digital University? Because what kind of impact do you think this will have on online learning for students in higher academics?
Well, I think with the pandemic, we all learned how to handle online education. And I think India, I'm very proud to say that India adapted so nicely, very beautifully, go from offline to online. Now, the three ladies talked about technology going to rural communities. Now, I heard on day one yesterday, 65% of our population is rural. But we produce a lot more toxic gases in the cities. 65% population in rural areas, how do you get them the education? How do you improve primary health care? All of these are important. So digitalization and taking advantage of this, with the speaker talking about 5G becoming a huge rollout in India, we are poised to benefit. And that is absolutely what we need to do. Take education to every home, because education becomes the foundation for the growth and prosperity of this nation.
Perfect. As we wrap up, sir, what kind of government support have you received in making education more accessible to the students in the country? Because, I know, and in what manner, in fact, can you tell us, in what manner is Amrita University facilitating education to the underprivileged in our country in terms of scholarships, placements? If you could tell me something about that.
I'll just answer the first question first. Placement. I don't think students who walk through Amrita need to worry so much about placement. It's an automatic. Companies come after the students at Amrita because of the skill plus the values they get. Now, we have certain set of policies that is very inclusive. It takes care of merit as well as EWS and underprivileged kids. But then, you can apply as underprivileged. However, there are circumstances. Like I know a student who lost both parents within a span of a week. Mom and dad during COVID. Second attack. What do you do with that kid? Suddenly everything came to a standstill dark. We gave that kid, a girl kid, free education until the entire 3 years, free. No questions asked, and we don't have to sit and go through a huge bureaucratic process. It's very simple. Compassion takes first. You do what is right and what is dharmic. And that is how we do it. So, a kid who lost both parents in accident, nobody can predict that. We give free education. So these are some underlying principles on which the university was built. And I'm being very proud that we're able to make those decisions and give these kids what they deserve.
Fantastic. Well, so it's really heartwarming to see all the efforts being done by the university. And yes, you are right. Education is so very important, and that is what helps any country and especially India grow. Thank you so much, sir, for your time. Thank you for being a part of India Economic Conclave.
Thank you.
India has been making progress in different dimensions. It has been making progress economically, technologically, digitally, agriculturally. And its uniqueness is its progress arising because of growth in every aspect of the society, from the poorest of the poor to the middle class and the wealthy. Our Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, has created a very new identity for India as a nation that is rising. Our Prime Minister has freed millions of people from the inferiority that has been instilled by the colonial rule. And it is this pride, this respect, and this dignity which is at the backbone of this nation rising. So India is poised to be a superpower. Yes? Yes or no? But if India would be a sustainable superpower depends on all of us over here and the billions of people, their wise choices that they would make over the coming years. History is replete with examples of a dramatic rise and an abysmal fall. A dramatic rise of a nation or a civilization followed by an abysmal fall. And at the heart of this abysmal fall is a spiritual decay. If you are going to take the Roman civilization or the Mayan civilization, the Romans lost the vision or the dream of great Rome, and they engaged in never-ending pleasure-seeking from the plunders of their victories. The Mayan rulers were so focused on creating the giant pyramids, they were disconnected from their people. So at the core of every abysmal fall has been the spiritual decay. If you want to be a superpower, if you want to rise individually, in your family, in your nation, and create success or create growth that is harmonious. So how do we create such an harmonious growth? Is it possible at all? The answer to this lies in India's creative genius. India has been, for several millennia, a genius of this nation has been its enlightened consciousness and oneness. Now, for a few moments, think of this. What would the world be today if not for the discovery of zero and infinity? How would the world be today? You know how we discovered zero and infinity? It is because of the experiences of these mathematician sages who experienced the states of Shunyata and Brahman. Today we have zero and infinity. At the heart of this giant rise of this nation should be an enlightened consciousness. Enlightenment is to live in an unperturbed state of calm, and on this unperturbed state of calm arises states of bliss, states of stillness, love, and peace. Let me share with you an insight which has been an epiphany for many leaders across the globe. Every human being at any point in time live only in one of two states. You are either in a state of suffering or you are in an awakened state. There is no third state. When I say suffering, it is a state in which you experience an inner friction. It could be anger, fear, loneliness, sadness, depression, anxiety. These are all suffering states. The most important decision that you would make in life is from which state you want to live and experience life. Let me explain that, why it is so important. I would explain that with three spiritual laws of consciousness. The first law is, your state is the signal that you're sending out to this vast fabric of consciousness, either to invite order or chaos. In a suffering state, you are inviting chaos into your life. In an awakened state, you are inviting order into your life. See, we live in a universe, we live in a very intelligent universe where there is communication happening everywhere. There is communication happening between one species and the other species. There is communication happening between all species and the whole. There is communication happening in your body where every cell is in connection and communication with every other cell through all the neuropeptides and enzymes. If there is communication happening in this universe, how do you think you are communicating to this vast fabric of consciousness? You are communicating through your state of being. In a stressful, suffering state, you are communicating to the universe that you are open to problems and chaos. And when you are in an awakened state, that is the communication that you're sending out to this vast fabric of consciousness, and you are inviting order into your life. The second law of consciousness, when your thinking revolves only around you are battling with life. You are battling at work, you're battling with people in your life. You live in a state of constantly fighting. Let me again take an analogy from the human body. If a single cell in your body declares independence, decides to be independent, that cell becomes the rogue cell. And your entire body and its immune system comes together in order to make sure that that cell is removed from the body, because that cell has the potential to become cancerous. It is pretty similar the way this works in the realm of consciousness as well. If you, in anger, your thinking is revolving around the injustice that has happened to you. In fear, your thinking is revolving around what is going to happen to me tomorrow. In sadness, your thinking is revolving around the poor me. As long as the thinking is revolving around oneself, please know you would be constantly battling with life. That is the nature of this universe. The third spiritual law of consciousness. In the normal realm, there is a cause and an effect. Say this tissue is there, I take this tissue and throw it down, it would fall down. Now imagine this whole thing being played the other way around. That is, the tissue is fallen down, then it slowly falls, and then I'm here taking it and putting it down. Pretty much in the realm of consciousness, that is how things operate. It is more like the subatomic world where the effect precedes the cause. You believe that the external problem is the cause because of which you move into stress. What if I was going to tell you the truth is the other way around? Your state is the cause, which is calling in particular events and situations to happen in your life. For this nation to rise, we need scores of leaders and scores of people to live in an awakened state so that you would rise in this nation, in our nation, and also be a blessing to the world. Please close your eyes for a few moments. Plant your feet firmly on the floor. Breathe slowly and deeply. Identify the exact state that you are experiencing now. Just name it. Do not try to change it. Is it frustration, loneliness, sadness, anger? Or is it calm, peace, love, and joy? See a flame in the middle of your eyebrows. And see this flame slowly move into the middle of your brain. Observe the flame in the middle of your brain. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. Sarvesham purnam bhavatu. Sarvesham mangalam bhavatu. Om Shanti. Shanti, Shanti. Slowly open your eyes. Namaste.